Yep, and I love doing this. And as much of a gauntlet as it's been, getting through this makes me firmly believe that I can literally do anything. There we go. I like that attitude. Glass half full, baby. Let's drink it up. You see Gabi Costa point him out to me. Should be wearing 23. There he is on the sideline. No, so Boca Dallas has the red kit with the yellow lettering. Club América has the yellow kit with the blue lettering. Copy, 90.
All right, everyone, it's almost time for kickoff on field number 2. Men's knockout round of 32. It's time for Club America and Boca Dallas. Another reminder of our TST rules. 2 18-minute halves, followed by that target score time at the end of the second half. We set a target score by adding 1 to the leading team's goal count. And
that
the
works.
first team to reach that target score will win. Also, during target score time, a player will be removed from each team every 3 minutes, just to make things a little interesting during TST. It's now time for our starters for tonight's game. First for Boca Dallas, on defense, number 8, Wellington Xavier. And number 3, Elton Nascimento. At midfield, number 10, Douglas Costa. Number 23, Gabriel Costa. And number 9, Gustavo Gomez. At forward, number 24, Gennaro Castillo. And in goal for Boca Dallas, number 1, Eduardo Cortez.
For 2 days, TST has been a celebration. Today becomes an elimination tournament. The crowds are bigger, the pressure is heavier, and every team still standing knows exactly what's waiting on the under this. $1 million. There are no style points left, there are no easy games left, just a collection of talented teams trying to survive one more round and move one step closer to a very big prize. Welcome to the knockout rounds live from Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina. My name's Christian Filliman, but my friends call me Philly. And in the next hour, somebody's dream stays alive while another one will end. If you're a fan of soccer, you've come to the right place because we've got a juggernaut of a match on our hands as the undefeated Boca Dallas players team up and lock horns with Club América in a game dripping with talent, ambition, and a whole lot of swagger. Target score time rules and TST rules are as follows. We have two 18-minute halves. There are no offside, no throw-ins, no slide tackling, unlimited substitutions. And we'll give you the target score time rules once we get into the action. And we are underway. Club América wearing the yellow kit with the blue lettering. Boca Dallas wearing the red with the yellow lettering. A couple of players to keep an eye on, in particular for Club América. Number 19, Miguel Layún, an individual who has been an all-star here at TST, as he's also won the inaugural home run tournament. 71 caps with the Mexican national team, including 2 trips to the World Cup in 2014 and 2018, 2 stints with América, and the attempt by Douglas Costa, who's our other player to watch on the other end, and I'll tell you about him in a second. But Miguel Layún, 142 games in his first stint with América, 68 in his second stint. As stated, Douglas Costa, player that we want to keep an eye on as far as Boca Dallas is concerned. I mean, this man's won in so many arenas. 3-time Bundesliga champs, played with Bayern Munich, Juventus, the LA Galaxy, played in Australia with Sydney FC. But the player that I really would like to focus on for Boca Dallas, for a team to go further in this tournament, a championship pedigree is required. And while there are a lot of players on both sides of the pitch that do have that championship pedigree, not all of them have it as far as the TST is concerned. So the player that you're going to want to keep an eye on Boca Dallas is number 23, Gabriel Costa, who was a champion with Newtown Pride in the inaugural 2023 TST tournament. Also played as a Kings League U.S. captain, and coming into this Global Soccer Festival, 7 goals, 4 assists in the 20 games that he's played at TST. Of course, those numbers go up a bit because, well, Boca Dallas had competed in the group stages and successfully found their way out. You're going to see some shaking and baking, some slicing and dicing. More importantly, you're going to see a very entertaining game as both teams trying to find their way out of the round of 32. Low attempt broken up by América. Boca Dallas, the way they got here is by rampaging their opponents. 11 goals for and 2 goals allowed. So the defense consistency is what's helped propel them there. They defeated Mint Hill by a score of 4-0. Then they defeated La Bombonera by an impressive 5-1. And it took all that they had in their tanks and defeated Charmer by a score of 2-1. And the player that has really been the one that's gotten the game winners is Alan Gutierrez. So another player you're going to want to keep an eye on, in particular for the target score time. For Club América, the path a little tumultuous as there's another attempt and saved. Path a bit more tumultuous. They finished in 3rd in Group J. 2-1 record. But they had a fair amount of goals that they started piling on late, and a big win against Villarreal right here on these pitches is what helped them move forward. Rebollo, the player on Club América who had scored those target score time game winners, was a big factor. So we see Genaro Castillo, a.k.a. La Pantera Rosa, wearing the number 24, the Pink Panther. Very easily identifiable by that pink hair. Marco Fabian, also a member of Boca Dallas. Fabian having won a gold medal with Mexico in the 2012 Olympic London Games. He, too, has had a great deal of success. Even won the Pokal in the Deutsche Bundesliga with Eintracht Frankfurt. Team not normally known. Shot saved! Team not normally known for winning trophies, as the save made by América's starting keeper, Leonin Pineda. Starting lineup for Club América, not different at all. They've kept with the same lineup that they went against with Villarreal. Luis Fuentes, Jorge Corral, Luis Amidor, Alejandro Garcia, Francisco Rivera, Miguel Rebollo, and Leonin Pineda. But with the unlimited subs, the starters are going to fluctuate. Boca Dallas has been a team to keep an eye on. Even going back to last year, this is their second year in the TST, and a lot of their players come in with a background in futsal and seven-a-side playing. But between Fabian and Costa, Douglas Costa, as that attempt almost sails in the upper left corner. Boca Dallas knocking on Club América's door. But the sprinkle of futsal, 7v7s, indoor soccer, in some cases beach, and outdoor makes Boca Dallas a very dangerous team. Club América, for the most part, is a team consisting of a lot of players that have ties to the biggest club in Liga MX. Los Millonarios y Los Águilas, the Millionaires, and y'all know what Las Águilas means. This is their return to TST as well. They've also brought in a women's division team, as had Boca Dallas for that matter, as TSTs continue to grow over the course of the past couple of years. 48 men's teams, 16 women's, and now a 12-team mixed division. And I had the opportunity to call in one of those games. Check out the mixed division, very exciting. There will be no defending champions anymore here at TST, as Bumpy Pitch was beaten by Quick Goal earlier today by a score of 5-0. So at this point, it is anybody's contest. Boca Dallas maintaining a lion's share of the possession here in the first half. As the ball is going to head back towards Eduardo Pollo Cortez. For you fans of the Major Arena Soccer League, you will remember his days playing in Mesquite with the Outlaws. Also a short stint with the San Diego Sockers and the St. Louis Ambush. And hello to all the MASL fans tuning in. If you haven't checked out professional arena sport in the United States, head on over to MASLsoccer.com to check it out. A lot of the players competing in this tournament do compete professionally in that league. And now as well, Kings League players. Nearly 120 players from the MASL, if not more, but 232 players from the Kings League. And speaking of MASL, we see Nick Pereira wearing the number 77. We refer to him as the Iberian Brick House. He stands head and shoulders taller than most of the opposition. An incredible collegiate career playing at the University of California, Santa Barbara, where he won a national title. There we see America with the pressure. Headed but recovered. Boca Dallas on the run. Boca Dallas has had no problem scoring goals in their competitions thus far. The further along they progress in this tournament, the more dangerous they become. This is a team that has not tasted any type of losses. Whereas América, in their opening game on day one, lost 4-0 to the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. That's another team that people may be sleeping on as Pereira heads it towards Pollo Cortez. But Fort Lauderdale Strikers have managed to advance, and they're going to take on Soccer Central, who won in an emphatic fashion against Withenshaw Vets FC. So pass in. Pollo Cortez dangerously runs outside of the box trying to avoid a crisis. So that, and I do stand corrected, Fort Lauderdale Strikers actually are going to take on the winner of Boca Dallas and Club América. So I hope I didn't confuse many of y'all. Been a long day for us here, and we certainly appreciate you spending your Friday evenings with us. No place I'd rather be on a Friday evening than calling this beautiful TST tournament, the 4th annual TST tournament, here from WakeMed Soccer Park, the home of the NC Courage of the NWSL. Boca Dallas recovers, promising buildup coming through. And Pineda coming through and making the save. Pineda played at TST last year. He's a goalkeeper for Xolos de Tijuana when they were promoted into the upper tiers of Liga MX in 2011. also is the U23 assistant coach for América. When he's not coaching, he's playing here in TST. As we see number 11, Marco Fabian, a fan favorite everywhere he goes. Shot, what a goal! Opening up the scoring line right out of the gates for Boca Dallas. It's number 5, Victor Bolt. He found his seam, he found his space, and lightning from his leg struck the void ball, and it propelled its way past Pineda, and we've got a goal, 1-0 in favor of Boca Dallas. Bolt played in Kings League Brazil with Desempenho, a team that would go on to win Kings League in Brazil, beating Kelvin Oliveira's G3X. Bolt did play in the final. He had 3 goals, 4 assists, and 7 fouls in the split, 25-26. América player down is Boca Dallas on the counter. Broken up defensively. The player that went down briefly was number 7, Diego Martinez. See Shea Santos momentarily was on as Fabian goes to his left. Pass comes up to number 18, Xaviero. Xaviero, also a Kings League Brazil player. Kings League, for those that don't know, 7 men's groups, 2 women's groups. They've got a Club World Cup, an international World Cup. And they have descended upon Cary, North Carolina with 232 players. Build up. And Pineda once again getting tested by Boca Dallas. This ball is in the air and kept in play as it is headed back to Pollo Cortez, and Marco Fabian getting a round of applause from the crowd. Fabian scored a goal on the opening day. And if you saw the highlights, he also sustained a heavy boot above the shoulders. It's good to see Marquito back in the game. From what we're being told, had some stitches as well. 4 to be exact. Stitches that he will never forget, no question about it. But what would make him forget about that is an unforgettable performance by Boca Dallas, as there's an opportunity that deflects. $1 million on the line wouldn't feel too bad either. As pressure on the ball, Club América struggling to get it out of their defensive end of the field, and foul gets drawn, and that's going to be on number 24. La Pantera Rosa. Castillo, who played with the Monterrey Flash a couple of years ago in the Major Arena Soccer League, had an MVP-esque season. And due to visa constraints, unable to carry on moving forward as he was signed by the Empire Strikers. There's an attempt. What a save by Pineda! Without question, a candidate for a save of the day moment. A thunderous strike from Boca Dallas was pawed out of the field of play. And that was Santos, also known as Che. Here's an interesting story for you, began his futsal career after a doctor's recommendation. Suffered a number of allergies when in Rio, and he ended up playing indoors. He was playing outdoors, he was getting the allergies, and so succeeding that way is what's brought him to this level. Gabriel Costa, in his first year playing in the indoor world, was a newcomer of the year with the Empire Strikers. You're going to hear me talk about the Major Arena Soccer League quite a bit, as there are several players from that league on this field, as well as Kings League. So between those two leagues, you're going to learn a lot if you haven't already done so already. Nearly at the 14-minute mark, and Boca Dallas hanging on to this 1-0 lead. An attempt that ricochets off of the back of an América player. That couldn't have felt good, because even from our distance, you cringe at the sound of the attempt that ricocheted off. Pass into the box, broken up once again by América. They're trying to stay as compact as possible, as Boca Dallas has been clinical with finding those precision passes into the box. While we have a lull in the action, gives us an opportunity to say that Voigt is the official ball supplier of the TST. Voigt been around for 100 years, made in Los Angeles, but perfected in Mexico. Good crowd on hand here on a Friday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. From what we're being told, attendance records getting shattered here at TST. Once we get those numbers in a future broadcast, we'll let you know. But this is the biggest and best TST that we've had so far. Opportunity strikes, and another incredible save by Pineda, denying Gabriel Costa. Couple of times that Pineda was tested. And he's made some world-class elite saves. A strike, another save. It opens up. And his back line and his teammates are going to have to award him with some type of cool beverage at the conclusion of this game, regardless of how the outcome goes, because with the way Boca Dallas has been surgically finding their way inside, this game would have been a lot more lopsided had it been a lesser keeper. But Pineda taking care of business in between the sticks. And if you're wondering the spacing, talking about 6.5 feet high, 18.5 feet wide. The pitch itself is 65 by 45 yards. Dancing in is Gustavo Gomez. Already with 7 saves, and we're not even done with the first half. There are keepers that haven't come close to that over the course of 2 games. And Pineda already with that many in 15 minutes worth of action. Moment of opportunity here for América as Layun sprinted into the box, but shouldered off. Layun, as we stated, won the inaugural home run derby here at TST. There was also goalie wars. Now, we weren't able to show that unless you can find some streamer who posted it, but that's the case for next year. It should be one of the many enticing reasons for you to book that flight and come on back to TST. If you're on the cusp or on the brink or just having thoughts that making you think otherwise, don't think. Just book the flight. When the dates get announced, come on by. This is an incredible tournament, a lot of fun, so many familiar faces, and very competitive soccer. More than just a tournament, it's a global soccer-loving festival. And it seems as if everything is downhill in terms of the slope of the pitch for Boca Dallas. Club América has not really had any possession on their offensive end. There's a strike kept low. Layun puts on the brakes. Gets dispossessed, pocket pick, counterattack opportunity for Boca Dallas. But Layun tracking back, makes the defensive play, allowing for the rest of his teammates to come by. Trip onto the pitch, and that's going to be a foul on Club América. That's going to give both teams an opportunity to put in some fresh legs, but we're about 20 seconds away from the end of regulation anyway in the first half. Not the end of regulation, just the end of the first half. So Boca Dallas is going to end up with one last attempt here, trying to add some extra insurance. The more goals they have, the easier it is for them to get out of target score time as quick as possible. A free kick coming up. And that takes a deflection as Rufino, the individual who fired it off. G3 XFC player in Kings League. That's the team Kelvin Oliveira plays for. Oliveira, we jokingly called a walking cheat code, but more on him later as the official blows the whistle, indicating that that is the end of the first half. Where it stands, Boca Dallas 1, Club América 0, courtesy of a goal by Victor Bolt, assisted by Marco Fabian. We're going to step aside for about 6 or so minutes, and when we come back, we got some halftime stats for you. Stick around, so much more action to be had here at Wake Med Soccer Park in beautiful Cary, North Carolina. Catch you on the other side of this break.
Visit dukehealth.org to schedule.
Sounds good, thanks. God, I got marbles in my mouth right now. Couldn't tell you. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, give me 1 second. Wow, these stats are nuts. Are you looking at these?
Sorry, Burke's pulled up. I mean, it's still got cracklies with the new cable, but like it's usable. I don't know what the issue is, man. But I'm gonna give this headset back to Philly. Yep. All right. Bye.
All right, let's rock. Back here from Wake Med Soccer Park on Field 2 here in Cary, North Carolina, getting ready for the start of the second half between Boca Dallas and Club América. Going over the stats real quick, and things that make you go, woo, is going to be the theme of these stats. Is Club América would have only one shot with one on target. Boca Dallas, 17 shots, with 8 of them on target, and 3 of them coming from Douglas Costa alone. In addition, Daniel Nascimento would have a fair amount of shots. It's only Miguel Rebollo for Club America that would get any type of shot fired off, and Boyo Cortez sitting for the most part untested. But things can change despite this barrage. It is only 1-0. So everything is philosophy, despite how much Boca Dallas has been attacking. Club America very much in this contest, down only 1-0. For those just joining us, the goal scorer for Boca was Victor Bolt, assisted by Marco Fabian. What a save! And as we were talking about how Boyo wasn't necessarily being tested, we now eat our words. As that man was the busier of the two keepers. Pressure from Boca Dallas. And see some extra pep to the step of Las Aguilas, as they've come out hungry. Boyo Cortez making the save that prevented the equalizer. For Pineda, 7 saves in the first half. Fabian. That comes off of the back line as the Iberian Brickhouse, Nick Pereira, bodying. And that's going to be a foul. I believe it's going to be given to number 18. And that is Xaviero. Stoppage in play as the officials just going to have a quick chat with both teams. Looks like it's going to be Jorge Corral, who played at TST last year and played with Club America from 08 to 2013, although he was loaned to Chiapas during that time. Where he really stood out was his time at Querétaro, where he played 160 games over the course of a 7-year period. Puts it to his left. The shot saved by Boyo. And Boca Dallas tried to quickly take advantage of Club America, but the officials are going to have them pull it back. And now it is Boyo Cortez that is being the more tested keeper between the two. Boyo Cortez, of course, of Boca Dallas. Played in the Kings League World Cup with the United States. His captain, Gabriel Costa, wearing number 23 on Boca Dallas. Stringing together some passes to find some space. You just see how calm and composed that Boca Dallas is, despite even facing pressure from the likes of Nick Pereira. And some miscommunication going on as the intended target was supposed to be Guilherme, but didn't make his run, which is why the pass looked as if it was an uncontested, unforced turnover. Pereira somehow finds a way to connect with any of his forwards and wings. Nick Pereira, #1 in the Major Arena Soccer League's history with assists. And that's a history that's 12 years. Pereira also playing with the United States men's national beach soccer team. And currently a champion with the legendary San Diego Sockers. As the Voigt was hugging the touchline, it is going to be Boca Dallas ball as they throw a line change of players back onto the pitch. Another foul gets called on Club America. And drawing it is Santos. Che Santos. One to 0 the score here. The goal scored in the first half. Boca Dallas looking for that extra insurance. We will always have a game winner here at TST, especially in the knockout rounds, of course. There's a shot fired in. And touch gets in the way. Recovered, though, as we saw an attempt fired off by Luis Morales. Luis Morales, also of the San Diego Soccer. So many major arena soccer league players, not only just on this pitch, but just here today. Luis Morales began his career with the Dallas Sidekicks, member of the United States men's national futsal team. He's the individual wearing number 15 for Boca Dallas. Also competing with Kings League on the international side with the United States team. Luis Morales, a dynamic player and an offensive threat. This battle has been physical. It feels as if the refs had to blow his whistle a few more times than we've seen in previous matches. América puts it into play, facing that Boca Dallas pressure. Call it more of a blockade. Trying to put his defender on his ankles. Somehow sticking with it and drawing a foul. I believe that was Luis Amador. Free kick from the midfield. The opposition needs to give at least 10 yards worth of space. So it gets played in number 26. Francisco Rivera, who had his youth career at San Luis and América. Played at Zacatecas, 115 games. Healthy career. And there's a ambitious attempt, to say the least. This is the final game of the evening. The final determination to see who's going to take on the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. And a yellow card. Just waiting for confirmation as to who the yellow card is, and that's going to be against Wellington Xavier Andrade. Well, actually, no, apologies. That's on Luis Amador. So the foul on América. So it is Boca Dallas ball. Club América did not make it out of the group stages last year. They played in a tough group. Morales nearly slipped on the pitch. Douglas Costa. I know there are a lot of fans that were excited to see him here. Gabi. Shot and a goal! Boca Dallas breaks through once again, and it is Gustavo Gomez. 2-0, Boca Dallas. From the turf to the twine, Boca Dallas is knocking on Pineda's door for a significant period of time, and they finally break through. The credit to the assist is going to go to Gabi Costa. That's why he's such an important player. He understands this world as well as the Kings League world, the beach world. Gabi Costa, because of the success that he's had here at TST, even with the likes of Douglas Costa, Marco Fabian, Genaro Castillo, Luis Morales, excellent players. It is Gabi Costa that, in my opinion, is the MVP. He's the straw that stirs this Boca cocktail. Pineda with Luis Fuentes. Boca Dallas out of Texas, as you'd imagine, utilizing what is close to the colors and the crest of the legendary Boca Juniors out of Argentina. A lot of talent in the state of Texas, and with a lot of the big clubs like a Boca, even Villarreal, they have a great deal of talent from the Lone Star State. Bolt, the first goal scorer. It's the long pass to his left. Renato Castillo was open on the far post momentarily before switching to the other side of the pitch. If Castillo gets some space, he has the opportunity for a highlight reel, because he is a dynamic goal scorer. Renato Castillo wearing the number 24. They call him the Pink Panther, and for good reason. His hair's pink. And the foul's going to be called against Miguel Layun, as he goes to check in on the individual who he just fouled, which is Daniel Nascimento. So he's going to get up gingerly, but he back up on his feet. A free kick near the touchline for the Boca Dallas Brigade. Played up top. The chip. And that had a little too much Tapatio tied to it. Layun. And it's going to take a bounce. He was looking for his intended target, Javier Ortega. It was a good idea, but it went directly to Pollo Cortez. We saw an example as to how and why he won the home run derby. For you indoor soccer fans, might make you smile to know that Stefan Mijatovic was very close at winning the home run derby. Although, again, it was Miguel Layun. Layun, who needs to change his name from Layun, a legend, with the type of career that he's had. Ping pong action back and forth between both sides. Ball is loose. Pineda did come out. And a sea of red converging on the void as the pass goes back to Pollo Cortez. 6 minutes remaining here in the second half. 6 minutes before we go into target score time. And hence the sense of urgency coming from Club América. Cortez was up in the air to Rufino. Shot overcooked by Nascimento. Enough height to where it would require a passport, the amount of distance traveled. Boca Dallas recovers on the counter. Managed to get it into the box, but Las Aguilas trying to box in the boys from Boca. Another attempt overcooked in nearly the same exact direction as the previous one. That was well Andrade. He's also competing with Boca Dallas's mixed side. A lot of teams fielding multiple teams, and a lot of players are competing in multiple games. That's a lot of activity, in particular with the humidity and the heat in this North Carolina weather. Pass from Pereira. Tripped. That could potentially, nope, thought the official was going to go run and reach into his pocket and pull out a yellow card. Man still down from Boca Dallas. 4 minutes remaining here in the half. It stays in, nope, the official a little late on the whistle, but stays in the direction of América. Pinballs off a couple of players. And you can see how displeased Nick Pereira is. He doesn't need much to get going. If you create that spark in him, he will make you pay. Layun lining up for the free kick. Club América looking to strike and claw one back before we head into that target score time. The attempt saved by Pollo Cortez. That was on frame. Ball is loose. Kicked high into the sky. The shots on target and the shots on goal have picked up for Club América here in the second half. As a reminder, they only had one shot with one on target in the first half. Right now they're sitting on 6 with 5 on target. But it was Boca Dallas that punched one through once again, and they currently lead by a score of 2-0. Pass into Pereira. Pereira back heels. Any kind of attack just thwarted. Pressure from Pereira. Trying to make number 6, Sydney, think otherwise. Cortez. You just see how precise Boca Dallas is. Threading their passing. Fabian. Who made the transition from the outdoor world to the arena game very easily. A Golden Boot leader, tied with a player by the name of Zach Reggett, who plays with Gene Fit, an arena boy. Fabian trying to find magic here, saved by Pineda. Less than 90 seconds remaining here in regulation. Spoyo is going to head it out of play. Quickly played in by Pereira. Into Amador. Wide open spacing. Just wide to the left. Cortez was far off his line, and Miguel Layun almost lit up the scoreboard for América. Douglas Costa, the pass in the middle. Fabian with real estate to maneuver. Into the box, the chip, the header, and the goal! The passing was exquisite for Boca Dallas' Alan Gutierrez with the header, and it is now 3-0 Boca.
Goal scored by number 17, Alan Gutierrez. An assist by number 14,
and the assist
Santos.
Gets credited to Santos, but no hockey assist getting credited here. But it was a couple of passes strung along to open the space up for Gutierrez. And now Boca Dallas firmly in control, as we're 5 seconds away from the end of the second half. Pass back to Pineda, and the official blows the whistle, indicating that regulation is over.
Boca Dallas 3.
So now we go into target score time. The other TST. TST stands for two things: the soccer tournament and target score time. So let's explain how this works. The target score is going to be 4. It's the leader's number plus 1. So in the case of Boca Dallas leading by 3, you add a 1 to that, 4. So for Boca, 1 goal, and they win. For Club América, they still have a chance at glory, but they're going to have to score 4 goals. Now, both teams are going to begin with 7v7. 3 minutes. If 3 minutes expire and the target score hasn't been reached, a player from each side will come off. So we go from 7v7 to 6v6. If the target score hasn't been established at that point, and another 3 minutes go by, then we go to 5v5. Recycle, rinse, repeat. But it'll never fall any further than 2v2. In addition, a new rule implemented here in 2026 that we have not seen, the backfield violation, which means once the ball crosses midfield, cannot go backwards. Otherwise, it is a violation and a change of possession at the spot of the violation. The statistics have shown that last year, 32% of the games in target score time went to 2v2. The percentages, a lot smaller this year, as there have been less than a handful that I am aware of that have gone 2v2. The most notable one was in the contest between LCF Academy and Bumpy Pitch. Literally 24 hours ago, the defending champs were put to the grinder by LCF Academy and then just tossed around by Quick Goal. Quick Goal, despite losing a heartbreaker to Boca Football Club, who they themselves lost to LCF Academy, came back with a chip on their shoulder and managed to oust the defending champs. So we will have a new champion here in the 2026 TST. Question's going to be who? After tonight, there will only be 16 teams left. We started with 48, and it starts to dwindle. And as the prize at the end of the rainbow, that 7-figure prize, becomes more evident, the competition's going to grow more fierce. And these games are going to be even more intense. So América still with some hope to salvage this. They're on life support, but even Mount Everest was scaled by an ambitious individual, and we know that the Americanistas are ambitious individuals as well. And we are underway here in target score time. 4 is your target. Miguel Layun nearly finds one. He is such a threat anytime he has some space, and he's precise with his shots as well. Seen a lot of players here who have a lot of oomph in their legs, but when the target's 6.5 feet high, 18.5 feet wide, you got to be a little more precise, more of a sniper as opposed to a Star Wars stormtrooper. And overcooked and out of play. And mistakes like that, not that that was a mistake, but turnovers like that can prove to be costly. Particularly the further you get into the target score time. It's going to stay América ball. Looking into the box, seeing if there's any intended targets. The pass comes to Layun. So being told, and now that we're seeing this a little more clearly, we were told that Cortez got the start, but it is Barada. So apologies for any mistake that might have occurred. Barada, who played for G3X FC in the Kings League Brazil, earned himself a match MVP. I do apologize for the mistake. Near goal threaded through by Club América. Thanks to the chat, by the way, for making that clarification, too. Pass in on the left. Santos headed out of danger, recovered by Boca. Into the left to Gustavo. Layun well ahead of any defender. As Douglas Costa taps it out. It trickles to Luis Amador. As he connects with Alberto Garcia. Sense of urgency here for Las Águilas. They're trying to prevent this from being their final game here at the 2026 TST. And that sails over the head of the intended target, which was Alejandro Garcia. So the official blows the whistle, which means player's going to come off. So player from each team comes off. Now we go from 7v7 to 6v6. So 1 goal for Boca to secure the victory. 4 goals needed for América. We've seen comebacks like this before in TST. Can América continue to write history for themselves here in this tournament? Or will it be Boca Dallas moving on to the round of 16? This back and forth action that you're witnessing, very tactical, just trying to spread the defense. In some cases we've seen defenders slip, and that's created a space and opened a window for a threatening attack. Pass into Santos. Nascimento. The question asks who I think the champ could be. I'll let you know after the round of 16. 'Cause I'll be here for a little while longer. Either much to your joy or much to your dismay. You're stuck with me for a little while, y'all. Boca Dallas taking their time, as they do have the advantage. Leading this game and not really under any duress. Although Club América did string together a couple of opportunities, really testing the keeper. Little over a minute before we go from 6v6 to 5v5. Will the sea part for Boca? Will the stars at night be big and bright? The shot and the goal, the game winner. Boca Dallas wins. Found the seam, it was open, shot fired, goal. Nascimento with the goal and the game winner. Game fleece, gold fleece, goes to our goal scorer. And for those unaware, that golden fleece actually happens to be a scarf, which in this humidity would feel really nice cleaning up the sweat, that's for sure. But with that golden fleece, Nascimento now will have the opportunity to come back to future tournaments. Although young enough, he would rather compete in them. Ailton, Jose da Silva, Nascimento with your game winner. And folks, that'll wrap it up for us tonight. Boca Dallas moves on. Club América heads home. We want to thank you so much for tuning into the TST. Once again, your final score, Boca Dallas 3, Club América 0. Good night. Oh, nice. I'm glad they loved it, because like I felt like I was totally off my game on this one. All right, man. Thank you again for your hard work.